Hello and welcome to Nolan Financial Radio. My name is Chris McKinney from Nolan Financial Partners. If you'd like more information about what you hear during our show today, give us a call at 719-210-4242 or visit us online at our website, nolanfinancialpartners.com. And while on our website, click on the radio page, check out our past shows, and subscribe to our program on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon Music. Inheriting an IRA is often a welcome windfall, but if not handled strategically, it can hit you with a hefty tax burden because inherited IRAs come with plenty of rules. That these are designed to make sure that IRS gets paid either sooner or later. During today's show, we're going to address some of the IRA inheritance strategies and some of the common mistakes you should work to avoid. But before we get into our topic, let me introduce you to my co-host, Jacqueline, who comes to us risk-free and full of upside.
Well, Chris, now that's a very financially specific compliment. And, I know Tony is typically sitting here and, he's just deciding to play hooky today.
Right.
And apparently he just didn't want to do the podcast.
I think he's getting old and he's saying, you know what? I don't have to work today.
Yes, I know. And he just decides, Jacqueline, you're younger, get in there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You got stuff to do. You got to prove yourself.
Exactly. I mean, I like to say that I'm better to look at than Tony, but maybe that's
true. No, it's true. That is very true. If you're with us on YouTube, then you know.
Yes. We got to get the viewers, to watch this one because
That's right.
Tony, I don't know if he's the greatest to look at, but
he is funny to look at. So he is a joy to look at because he just brings warmth and joy to people. So
yes, absolutely.
So I enjoy my time with Tony, and he does not upset my eyeballs. But
well, good.
Not that you don't enhance the picture.
Well, thank you. Well, how are you, Chris? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm looking forward to fall. We're starting to get some cool mornings. It's I hope we have a whole fall.
Yes.
Typically here in Colorado Springs, we have like a week of fall, and then we go straight to winter.
Yes.
It's like, oh, did you want some snow? Here you go.
Yes. Or we've gotten, I'm in Minnesota, and we get the common, you get a week of fall, and then we're going to go back to summer, and then we're going to go back to fall, and then just winter. Boom.
No. Well, I mean, we always can go back to summer or kind of a fall situation here. It doesn't matter if it's January, February, whatever. We can have 65 sunny degrees any time of the year. It's really interesting because we're a lot further south than you are. So
yes.
So yeah, and so then we get it blocks the air, and the air the cold air misses us. So sorry, I'm a weather guy.
Okay.
More life, so you'd be talking about weather, and we'll be here all day.
Well, I wish I knew anything about weather because I rely on the apps and the channels, and that just doesn't always work for me. So maybe if I knew some knowledge and actually looked it up for myself, I would end up a lot better.
No.
I would know how to dress at least.
Your local TV stations are generally your best source for weather. I can tell you that right now.
Okay.
Because they cater to their audience, and their audience is you. So that's usually where you're going to get your best weather.
All right. Well, good. Well, we are starting the week strong by doing this podcast.
That's right.
And I am very excited about this topic. I mean, it's a little bit confusing because we're talking more about the legality of things. And And so tell me more, Chris. Where are we going to start today?
So I read an article from Kiplinger on inherited IRAs. It's called Inherited an IRA, Avoid These Common Mistakes That Can Cost You. So it kind of prompted me to do this. I'm always looking for good articles to kind of glom off of. Now, and I must tell you, I'm not a CPA, I'm not a tax attorney, and I'm not a trust attorney. So anything you hear on this show today should be taken with a grain of salt. All right.
Yes.
So inherited IRAs are often called beneficiary IRAs because that's what it's called when an IRA gets passed along to a spouse, a family member, someone else you care about after you've passed away. So now here's the thing: you can actually leave an IRA to just about anyone. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter. But the rules for what happens next can be very different depending on who that beneficiary is. So once that transfer happens, the money from the original IRA moves into an inherited IRA in the beneficiary's name. You can't add new money, but it does stay tax deferred, which is usually a good thing, right?
Yes.
We like tax deferral money. But it can get tricky. So if you're not the spouse, then the IRS says you have to fully withdraw that inherited IRA within 10 years of the original account holder's death. So that's very important. You want to make sure that every dollar that you have counts uh, toward your retirement and takes care of you. But remember that every dollar you pull out of an IRA is taxed. It's
Mhm.
ordinary income. So it can, if you take it all at once, it can blow up your ordinary income for that year and put you into different tax brackets. So you want to be careful how you take the inherited IRA money. There's no wrapper around that protects you from that ordinary income tax.
Yeah, and Chris, it seems like you know the rules inside and out, and that can just make a world of difference with this inherited IRA stuff. And I mean, there's a lot of questions and a lot of confusing things going on with this. And so, what are some of the rules that come with inherited IRAs?
Well, one of the reasons I'm super familiar with it is well, one, I study these things, and
Yes.
and two, we lost my father this year. Now my dad's been unwell for a long time, so it wasn't a big surprise. But we're still trying to deal with getting all of his IRAs and 401ks in my mother's name so that she can have easy access to those funds. um, we had started the process of getting all of my father's IRAs and 401ks just spent out before he passed because he's been sick for about 5 years. And so we just didn't get it all done. So
Mhm.
now we're having to do the things, and it's kind of painful for my mom because it's like, okay, here's the death certificate, here's this, here's
Mhm.
that. So you really want to get on top of IRAs that 401ks, any of these kind of things that are going to be passed on. If you have a little foreknowledge, get things prepped so that you can get everything done and know who to call, where to call, what to do about getting control of those funds. Because guess what happened to my mom is that so my dad's pension went away, and then her Social Security went away because
Wow.
she kept my dad's Social Security because it was more than hers, but she still had to go do all these things. And then, so now she's got a lot less money than she had while he was around. And so she needs that a little bit extra draw from those 401ks and those IRAs to help make up some of those differences. Because just because one spouse, leaves, that the family that passes on, you still have a lot of expenses that just don't go away. Your household expenses don't really change much. When I mean, they're still the same pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So my mom didn't sell any cars, so she still has a truck and a car. Does she need a truck or car? Well, yeah, she kind of does because she lives on a farm. So
Yeah.
she didn't go down in vehicles, right? So she's still paying the same insurance on vehicles. So that's just an example of how things may not change as much as you think as far as your financial needs once somebody is not part of your life.
Yeah. And Chris, it sounds like you have firsthand experience, which is a world of knowledge right there. And, I think it's also important for our viewers and listeners to know that every single situation is going to be different. And talking
Yeah.
with a financial services professional like yourself, you will make sense of every single situation.
Right, right. We've helped a number of clients go through this transition to being single and losing their loved one. And so it can take a lot of time, take some patience. Um, the first thing we always do is like, don't do anything for a while. Just
Mhm.
you have time, right? So we
Yeah.
have time. Don't do anything radical. Let's figure out to make sure you have enough money right now for the next 6 months to a year, and let's not do anything too radical. And then we start really grabbing, making sure that everything is lined up. You have control of your money, and then you can use it, and then you're not violating some of the newer rules, right? So we
Yes.
have some new rules that came in, the Secure Act. It's an acronym for Setting Every Community Up for Retirement Enhancement Act of 2019. Okay.
Mhm.
There was the Secure Act 1 and Secure Act 2. And so these acts affected a lot of things about IRAs. And so if you're not spouse and you inherited that IRA after December of 2019, there's what they call the 10-year rule. So that means you have to fully withdraw that account within 10 years. Okay, because the IRS wants their tax money. So
Mhm.
that's the rule they put in. Everybody needs to spend their money that they receive in inheritance. And they're, or not spend it, but at least move it out of that IRA.
Mhm.
So working with a financial service professional can really help, because if you're within 10 years of the original account holder's age, or you're disabled, or you're chronically ill, or if you're a mild child, you're allowed to follow the old rules, right? So you want to make sure that you understand the rules, find somebody who understands the rules when you're going through this. So you can stretch those withdrawals over your lifetime. So that could be really important for a minor or somebody
Mhm.
who's disabled, to be able to stretch those out so that they can have uh, those funds come to them in a slow way over time, not get hit with a bunch of taxes,
Yeah.
and then too much money that they don't know what to do with. I don't know. I don't know how you are with your finances, Jack, and I'm sure you are the best. But I know people that if there's money in their checking account, they spend it.
Mhm.
Like, I could use some new blinds for this room. I could use, I have a little money.
Mhm.
I'll just get this. I'll just get that. And so what happens is your spending plan goes bonkers, and now you spend all this money that there's like, oh wait, I was supposed to save that for like bills.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
not spending everything. Yeah, I mean, I need to work on a little bit, going on vacations. I
sure,
don't I don't spend money on vacations, and that's what I need to work on,
you
but
don't
I
spend
mean,
money on vacations.
I know
What are you doing?
I don't go on I know I need to go on more vacations, but I save my money and I don't spend it, and, but anyways, Chris, I just
You
wanna go
you
back
you
to
you gotta start stop. No. You have to have a vacation fund. Life is fun here, okay? We're here
Yes.
to experience joy. I don't care if your vacation, is 2 weeks in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan during the winter, fishing for fishing on a ice cold lake. Do something that makes you get some joy. Say figure out how much it costs and start saving.
Okay.
All you have to do is create a plan, and you can do it.
And
I
working with a financial services professional like yourself, Chris.
Yeah. So I had my bank, I had kind of had a little relationship with my Chase Bank here locally. They've closed it since, but this gal, she's like, "You guys are going to Hawaii?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'd really love to go to Hawaii." I was like, "Well, why don't you go?" She's like, "Well, I don't have money." I was like, "Yeah, you do." And so I talked to her, and I talked to her some more, and she figured it out. And in about a year and a half, she went to Hawaii. It
Wow.
it wasn't about how much money you make. It's about how
Mhm.
much you decide to plan and set aside.
Yes.
So somebody in their 20s and 30s, it's really hard for them to say, "Oh, I'm going to take $100 a month and put that into a
Mhm.
vacation account." It's like, yeah, because I know you want to do stuff and have
Mhm.
fun and go out and, party or, spend money at the movies and go to, I don't know, whatever. But you got to save money you got to plan your joy,
Yes.
plan your joy.
Yes. Well,
Anyway,
you also have to plan for your future, right? So you're
that's right.
balancing that because
We're
that's where
balancing
I'm
that.
at. I'm like,
Yeah,
you tell me all the time about how we need a plan for our future and our
that's right.
retirement.
That's
So
right.
where's the balance, right?
There is a balance, but we can't forget about having fun right now.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
I am not that kind of financial planner where, ooh, we got to take every penny and put it toward your retirement. Nope, that's not what we do. First,
Yeah.
we find joy with what we got. Then we start planning for what we need, and then we start planning for more joy down the road.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Well, Chris, I mean, I appreciate all of that guidance. And going back to kind of our topic here, we're
Yeah.
getting a little sidetracked. But you said to your mom, right, that
Yep.
take your time. And that
Take
is
your time.
absolutely right. Don't rush into things. Take
No.
your time, discuss it, plan it out. But you do have that 10-year rule that you just talked about too. And 10 years
Right.
is a large amount of time to figure out that plan as well and to figure out where the money's
W-
going to go.
Well, sort of, because some of the rules are a little different. You may have to start taking it each year during that 10-year period.
Mhm.
They've done away with the lump sum at the end kind of thing. So, and then that doesn't make sense for taxes either. That you want to draw it so that it creates the best tax advantage for you. Because if you take it all in one year, it could bump you into a higher tax bracket, and then it takes away. So if you were currently in a 15% tax bracket, and taking all that money at once would bump you into a 24% tax bracket. Well, that's 9%. So 9% of that, it's like, well, you just threw away all your rate of return on that account for like 2 years probably.
Mhm.
Right. So
Absolutely.
so you want to make sure that you're making the right decisions on how you draw it out. Um, but if you're a spouse, you can make those withdrawals over your lifetime, and that's fine. If you have some of these other uh, you know, conditions, there's ways that you can stretch it out. But if you don't fall into one of those categories, then you have that 10 years. Um, Now, if you inherited an IRA that's already in already has required minimum distributions on it, so that starts at 73 right now. You'll have to continue to take those um, during that 10-year period based on your own life expectancy. So there's a table for that, and so there's a lot of depends, right? So this is
Mhm.
one of the depends where it gets a little funky with the RMDs. Um, you can leave an IRA to anyone, but the tax rules really favor spouses. They
Okay.
get the most flexibility. They're the only ones that can just simply treat the IRA as their own. Now, what we've done with most of our clients is we actually move the IRA and we just do a transfer, and you can do that, a spousal transfer from being in the name of the former person into their name. Well, what does that do? Well, make it cleans up um, any. So what happens if the person that inherited it passes, but now this inherited IRA is in this other person's name, okay, we have to go back to his will or her will to
Mhm.
look at it, right? So it cleans up some of the potential probate issues if you move the money into the surviving spouse's name, when that happens. And so that's what we do with most of our clients. We get it in their name, so everything is cleared up. If it's going to go into a trust or getting distributed out through the will, however that's going to happen. If you can do that spousal transfer, so that's what we recommend.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And like you said, there are several different rules for spousal
Right.
versus non-spousal. And so can you explain a little bit more on the non-spousal inherited IRA rules?
Uh, yeah. So if you inherit something and you don't fall into a special category, you have 10 years to get that money out. Now you have to start taking it uh, in that first year is so, and it's got to be emptied within those 10 years. And then that money comes out, and it's just like if you had pulled it out of your own IRA. There's no penalties for pulling it out because it's based on the person that passed, life. There's no 10% penalty, right? So, but you can take it out, but but you still have to pay the ordinary income tax. So it just gets added onto your income tax with your on your 1040, right? So,
Yeah.
um, that's a really big advantage. So the spouses have the
Mhm.
best kind of situation. Um, Now, if you can the 10-year withdrawal rule, tax deferred growth, or taking a lump sum, it's always better to spread it out. So
Mhm.
you do have the option of taking a lump sum, but you've got to start getting it taken out. Now, if you inherited a Roth IRA, so there's a lot more Roth IRAs coming around now too.
Yes.
So these are tax free, and they will stay tax free in that account. And if it's been at least 5 years, then everything's fine. So then there's no rules around it. So you have to own a Roth IRA for 5 years before you start withdrawals that are tax free. That's something that if it's your own or if it's inherited, that's the same rule. Um, so the non-spouse beneficiaries must empty that account within 10 years. So again, spouses have that extra flexibility of just using it whenever they want.
Mhm.
So it's a big deal to have that um, know that rules in account is there. There used to be some different rules, and then you also have to look at there's some rules that are part of qualified plans, and they all have their own rules. And so you want to make sure you find out if you got some kind of qualified plan coming to you from a past
Mhm.
spouse or somebody that passed, and then you want to find out what their rules are because the retirement money that's part of a qualified plan can have more rules associated with than just the IRS rules. And so those are going to be individual to those plans. So we've seen some of those that are kind of weird, like they had to get it out within 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
and
quick.
it was pretty quick. But from their perspective, is they're paying for this qualified plan to the servicer, and so they want to get this out of that service. So it
Mhm.
costs them, money to keep those accounts open. And if that person's obviously not working there anymore, so they want it gone. They want it out.
Mhm.
And so there are some rules like that have cropped up that I'm like, what? That's so weird. But um Tony tells a story about if you leave a 401k and a 401k in a with a company that goes out of business, they stop paying all those fees to the 401k manager, and now your 401k is paid in it, and it eats it to nothing. It
Wow.
is terrible. So you want to
Move it.
you want to
Mhm.
get control of these funds to make sure that you're in the right situation. You want to look at how it's invested as well. So
Mhm.
that's one of the big deals is your timelines may be totally different than what your spouses were or the whoever's who were past were. And so you need growth maybe. So you need to move it into a growth situation where the other person was like, hey, I got 5 years to live. I don't want to grow my money. I just
Yeah.
want it to be there when I want to spend it.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to look at the timelines. What's your risk profile? If your risk profile is high, then get it out there in the market. If it's low, maybe you want to look at some alternatives to the market.
And what's your end goal?
What's your end goal? That's the most important thing, is what's your end goal with these funds? How are they going to support your either current lifestyle or your future lifestyle? So that's what we need to do, is figure out what's going on with that. Do you want, I'm 40, I inherited, $500,000. I'm taking a gap year. See ya. I don't know, whatever you want to do.
I wish. I kind of wish.
So and then the employers will be like, yeah, that'd probably be better if you took a gap year. See ya.
Yep.
You will not be able to contain yourself for a minute. So you need to go run out of money, come back and work.
Yep. Yes. Get that drive back in you, right?
Well, salary is a driving factor for going to work. And if you lose that driving factor to go to work, you tend to stop showing up for work as well.
Yes. More sick days than healthy days.
It's like, yeah, I'm not feeling so good today. I had a sniffle.
Yeah.
Just one? Yeah, just one. I had one sniffle, so I'm not coming.
Yeah. The line to get my coffee this morning was too long, so I'm not gonna make it in.
I turned back around and went home. I couldn't take it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and Chris, like you said, I mean, there's the lump sum of taking out, the IRA stuff. We just want to we want to prevent that, because that is going to push you in a higher tax bracket.
Yep.
But I also just want to state that anything that we say in this episode, legislature can change
that's
quickly.
Right.
And so none of this is going to be permanent. These are the rules now, but
today.
Yes, today, and who knows if it could be different tomorrow, right?
Oh boy, things are changing fast around
here. Let's hope
So,
not tomorrow, but I mean, it could definitely change soon.
Well, the laws change, and then also investment opportunities change.
Mm-hmm.
And so some investment opportunities, get better, and some get lower depending on what's going on with the rules and the market and all those kind of things. So you want to make sure your investments are in the right place.
Yeah, absolutely. And for you and for your goal, like we just talked about.
That's right.
Well, is there anything else that you want to share before we close out today?
Yeah. So I'm offering a complimentary consultation to anybody that calls off my radio show. So give us a call. We've set aside those appointments on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Give us a call at 719-210-4242. Go out to our website, nolanfinancialpartners.com. Check us out there. Listen to our old radio shows. But give us a call now at 719-210-4242.
Well, thank you, Chris, for letting me hang out with you today and stealing the spotlight from Tony for a second.
So thanks for listening, and take care, and we'll talk to you again.